I'm always amazed by this question, right? And I think I would really wish there are other things that we could talk about today, like renal nutrition, diabetes management, and all that. But you find this question seems to crop up almost every time, right? Be it one is studying nutrition, be it one is looking for a job, and be it one is pitching, let's say, to an organization, for a project or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The question that is always asked is, what do you do?
Yes, that's a very good question.
What exactly does a nutritionist do? Okay, what is their role, be it globally or nationally?
All right.
How does one become a nutritionist? And then relevance.
Wow.
How relevant are you in the industry?
Okay, so maybe I can talk a bit about the nutritionists, what I think they are.
Yeah, what is it that they actually do? What is it that they really do? There's just a lot about being a nutritionist and all, but what is it that they do?
We're teachers. We teach people and we come up with food plans or formulations for meeting a specific need. So the needs, they vary. It varies based on location. It varies based on the budget that maybe people are using. It varies based on what exactly we want to assist or work towards. So you can find them either in NGOs or non-governmental organizations working in the rural and urban settings as well. You can also find them in hospitals. You can find them in clinics. Food industry is also one area where you can, and schools and sports nutrition. Wow, that's a very interesting one these days, which is coming up quite a lot.
Yeah. So in other words, when you talk about nutritionists, are actually saying people that actually use the science of nutrition to improve the health or the life of people. In simple terms, in Zimbabwe, for example, you'd find that a nutritionist basically is supposed to be someone who has studied nutrition.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Some nutrition programs are 3-4 years, but right now, ideally, someone needs to have started a 4-year degree program. They need to be registered.
Yes.
Right? And that is basically it.
Registration is very important. I never really understood it up until recently, because you need a board that you'll actually be able to say they are governing us. They're people who will give us guidelines. There are also people who, in the event that something happens, maybe like lawsuits and etc., they will be there to actually, say we've got these governing laws. So I think it's really important that we are part of you have someone to actually be, telling you the regulations, not just doing what you want.
Yeah, I actually realized that I think the reason why there's this new regulation is to enable, to make sure that people that are qualified are the ones that are giving the information. With social media and everything else, there's just lots of information there, and to a large extent, some of it is not verified. It's not. There's no scientific evidence per se. So I think it's very important that there's that kind of regulation, and then it's also important that they're actually registered or recognized in the industry. Nutrition is actually science. It's not like, some people would say if someone is doing nutrition, they're basically someone who's a cook and someone is doing home economics, something like that. But you find that it is a science, and there are people that have actually studied the science of nutrition and how it improves the health and lives of people.
It's very true, because nutrition is like it's part of medicine. You're actually working with the human body, and you are literally coming up with a way that someone can be able to ensure that they're healthy, and you have to make sure that everything is on point. So it's not something that you can experiment. We only have one human body, and with nutrients, if you get it wrong, you can actually put someone at a risk of getting sick or even death at times if you're not on track and if you're not using the science as it's meant to be used.
You were saying something offline. You were saying that you no longer address yourself as a nutritionist. Why is that?
Because they don't understand what a nutritionist is. They find it to be a very confusing word, and they have this perception that you're like a policewoman when it comes to food, who's going to be making sure that if they make a mistake or they eat unhealthy, you're cuffing them with the handcuffs and telling them.
Yeah. So in other words, how do you address yourself? When people ask you, are you a nutritionist, what do you say?
I say I'm a health and nutrition coach.
That's interesting.
It's easier for them to understand. They can associate a coach. They know what a coach is. They know what nutrition is, and they know what health is. And it's also something that they can see themselves wanting to achieve or wanting to be. Everyone wants to be healthy. We want to be nutritious.
I think part of the problem, is from the fact that nutritionists, within our local context, are not very active, even on social media and everything. People would understand that the doctors, pharmacists, physiotherapists, and psychologists are there, but then when it comes to nutrition, it's very silent. I'm aware that they've got an association, but I think more work needs to be done to make sure that they're very visible.
It's true, because imagine we've got 13 million people in the whole of Zimbabwe, and us as nutritionists, if people don't even know who we are in the maybe 1 is to 5 or 0 is to 5, then we're not doing anything. We really need to be more aggressive and get the word out there.
Yeah, but if you look at a context, let's look at a context where someone has recently graduated, for example, someone is looking for a job. What sort of things do you think they can be able to do during this time? Is there preparing probably to go into formal employment or anything? What is it that you think, in your opinion, do you think they should be doing?
Okay, I think you need to start looking online and seeing what other nutritionists are doing as well to be able to actually get the word out there. They're doing blogging, people are on social media, others they are volunteering, social work, others they are, going to the non-governmental organizations and they're going there and saying, I'm here, I would like to assist in this particular area. But I think a very important aspect is knowing what exactly you want to do about nutrition.
So in other words, nutrition is a very broad area.
It's so big.
It's very broad.
Very broad.
There's sports nutrition. You can be involved in media and nutrition, mental health and nutrition, all those issues, the cross-cutting issues that nutrition can be cross-cutting issue in all these things. And
it can be very confusing because sometimes you just want what will make you the most money. But will it really make you feel fulfilled? And is it based on your strengths? Like for yourself, you love media and those are your strengths. So what you're doing by actually incorporating nutrition and media is something that resonates with you because it's what you love and it's impactful. You're able to actually do more as compared to if you were to maybe working with the elderly.
I'm a bit worried with this adverse weather and climate change. There's a lot of flooding and all these environmental sort of like disasters that are taking place. And I believe probably some food sources are going to disappear. Definitely. And then some food sources are going to reappear. So that's an opportunity for nutrition now to try and find out the best way that people can be able to maintain their health and nutritional status with these food sources, right? So climate change now becomes an issue in nutrition.
It does.
Yeah, how to provide good nutrition in a context where there's adverse weather and climate change.
It's true. And the foods that are actually there that they're saying we should be eating more of, most of us don't like them much. They're beans and lentils and vegetables. Those things that people are like, they're either expensive or they're difficult to prepare and cook.
I guess the challenge is that people like animal sources as such. So it's quite difficult now to be able to say, okay, all of a sudden you're going to find yourself eating lentils and all these plants and everything. Realistically, even telling someone that you're not going to be eating meat and everything like that, it's something that people will not be able to accept.
It's true. It will take a bit of time. But I think just helping them to understand what are the benefits of them actually having the vegetables and the variety. Because I think when people think of vegetables, they start thinking of broccoli and the expensive stuff. But what happens to our local foods that are actually quite affordable for most of us to have?
So in summary, we're saying, okay, what's our take from this? Okay, we're saying that nutrition is important.
Very.
Nutrition has a role to play both locally and globally. There are people that are called nutritionists who are in the health system.
Yes.
There are people that are registered, right, to operate as nutritionists.
Yes.
And then ultimately, I think we've tried to clear the air to really say, okay, this is what nutrition is all about, and probably this is going to help someone in some way. The journey to discover what it is that they need to be involved in. And nutrition, like what you said, it's a very broad area. Yeah, it's a highly specialized area that someone, if they have a drive to do probably sports nutrition, they can head towards that direction. If it's media, they go towards media, right? So that's it.